Hello, friend. Welcome to day 32 of 730. Today we finish in chapter 37 of Genesis, and we're also doing chapter 38, the first 13 verses. And from the New Living Translation, it reads: Soon Joseph had another dream, and again he told his brothers about it. Listen, I have had another dream, he said. The sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowed low before me. 10. This time he told the dream to his father as well as to his brothers. But his father scolded him. And what kind of a dream is that? He asked. Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you? 11. But while his brothers were jealous of Joseph, his father wondered what the dream meant. 12. Soon after this, Joseph's brothers went to pasture their father's flock in Shechem. When they had been gone for some time, Jacob said to Joseph, Your brothers are pasturing the sheep at Shechem. Get ready, and I will send you to them. I am ready to go, Joseph replied. 14. Go and see how your brothers and the flocks are getting along. Jacob said, Then come back and bring me a report. So Joseph sent him on his way, and Joseph traveled to Shechem from their home in the valley of Hebron. 15. When he arrived there, a man from the area noticed him wandering around the countryside. What are you looking for? He asked. 16. I'm looking for my brothers, Joseph replied. Do you know where they are pasturing their sheep? 17. Yes, the man told him. They have moved on from here, but I have heard them say, Let's go on to Dothan. So Joseph followed his brothers to Dothan and found them there. And when Joseph's brothers saw him coming, they recognized him in the distance. As he approached, they made plans to kill. As he approached, they made plans to kill him. Here comes the dreamer, they said. Come on, let's kill him and throw him into one of the cisterns. When we can tell our father a wild animal has eaten him, then we will see what becomes of his dreams. 21. But Reuben heard of their scheme. He came to Joseph's rescue. Let's not kill him, he said. 22. Why should we shed any blood? Let's just throw him into the empty cistern here in the wilderness. Then he will die without without our laying a hand on him. Reuben was secretly planning to rescue Joseph and return him to his father. 23. So when Joseph arrived, his brothers ripped off his beautiful robe he was wearing. 24. Then they grabbed him and threw him into the cistern. The cistern was empty. There was no water in it. 25. Then, just as they were sitting down to eat, they looked up and saw a caravan of camels in the distance coming towards them. It was a group of the Ishmaelite traders taking a load of balm and aromatic resin from Gilead down to Egypt. 26. Judah said to his brothers, What will you gain by killing our brother? His blood will just give us a guilty conscience. 27. Instead of hurting him, let's sell him to those Ishmaelite traders. After all, he's our brother, our own flesh and blood. And his brothers agreed. 28. So when the Ishmaelites, which were the Midianite traders, came by, Joseph's brothers pulled him out of the cistern and sold him to them for 20 pieces of silver. And the traders took him to Egypt. 29. Some time later, Reuben returned to get Joseph out of the cistern. When he discovered that Joseph was missing, he tore his clothes in grief. 30. Then he went back to his brothers and lamented, The boy is gone. What will we do now? 31. Then the brothers killed a young goat and dipped Joseph's robe in its blood. 32. They sent the beautiful robe to their father with this message, Look at what we found. Doesn't this robe belong to your son? 33. Their father recognized it immediately. Yes, he said, It is my son's robe. A wild animal must have eaten him. Joseph was clearly being torn to pieces. 34. Then Jacob tore his clothes and dressed himself in velvet. He mourned deeply for his son for a long time. 35. His family all tried to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. I will go to my grave mourning my son, he would say, and then he would weep. 36. Meanwhile, the Midianite traders arrived in Egypt where they sold Joseph to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. Potiphar was captain of the palace guard. All right, now chapter 38. About this time, Judah left home and moved to Adullam, where he stayed with a man named Hira. 2. There he saw a Canaanite woman, a daughter of Shua, and he married her. When he had slept with her, 3, she became pregnant and gave birth to a son, and he named the boy Er. 4. Then she became pregnant again and gave birth to another son, and she named him Onan. And 5. When she gave birth to a third son, she named him Shelah. At the time of Shelah's birth, they were living in Kezib. 6. In the course of time, Judah arranged for his firstborn son Er to marry a young woman named Tamar. 7. But Er was a wicked man and in the Lord's sight, so the Lord took his life. 8. Then Judah said to Er's brother Onan, "Go and marry Tamar, as our Lord requires, of the brother of a man who has died. You must produce an heir for your brother." 9. But Onan was not willing to have a child who would not be his own heir. So whenever he had intercourse with his brother's wife, he spilled the semen on the ground. That prevented her from having a child who would belong to his brother. 10. But the Lord considered it evil for Onan to deny a child to his dead brother. So the Lord took Onan's life too. 11. Then Judah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, "Go back to your parents' home and remain a widow until my son Shelah is old enough to marry you." But Judah didn't really intend to do this because he was afraid Shelah would also die like his two brothers. So Tamar went back to live in her father's home. 12. Some years later, Judah's wife died. After the time of mourning was over, Judah and his friend Hurah, the Adullamite, went up to Timnah to supervise the shearing of his sheep. 13. Someone told Tamar, "Look, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep." All right, and that was Genesis 38. Until tomorrow, stay blessed.